Okay, I see little dots flying around, little thumbs going across the screen. So I must be live now, and people must be seeing me. So let me cover my topic. It's not going to be long, but I just ran into somebody who's looking for me for help today. They didn't have a lot of money for me to do their research and stuff like that. And I just want to make sure that people know where to go if they don't really have the I don't know, the resources or whatever to hire me. I mean, there's nothing magic I do. I just dig ditches, and probably better than a lot of other people doing it. But much more importantly, if you have something bad in life, I mean, this poor woman had something in her house that's making her hair go bald, and she doesn't have money to fix it up, and all this kind of stuff. So she's in dire straits, and something very important going on in her life, but she finding it in Google and can't fix it. So now what I want to show with you is that don't use Google when something bad happens in your life. You're not going to get help. Maybe if you're really careful and know the system well enough, but most people won't. And that's what frustrates me, is that people think, oh, I'll solve all my problems on Google. But no, man. And it's really because there's one special thing about Google that you have to remember. It's capitalism. It's all about capitalism. This is what this country is, capitalism. And capitalism's cool. But there's other problems in our country too that have to be solved. And it may not be in capitalism. See, that's why if you're going to Google to try to solve your problem, and you don't have money, well, you're not going to find anybody. Everybody on Google is trying to sell you something, unless you know exactly that organization that solves that problem, but you won't, because they don't spend any money trying to find you. So that's why Google is what's the ultimate of capitalism. And as a result, there's a lot of problems that you can't solve using them. And that's why what you have to do, and there's other problems with Google. And what I'm going to show you is 4 ways that you could go in your community to solve any kind of problem like that you can't solve, or is a problem with you. You're not a fat cat to throw money at it. So you want to solve these problems, and I'll show you 4 places in your community that will solve the problem. Because see, another thing what you don't know is what the problem really is. Sure, you don't have money, or the roof is caving in or something like that, but it may be called something else in these people who solve those problems. That's why if you go to Google, you're going to get people who think what's in your head and show you this is the problem. But it may not be the problem. See, and that's it. So you really have to talk, and you can't talk to anybody at Google. See, that's the other thing. So you can't even get help to understand how Google works and talk to anybody. That's incredible. Unless you're giving them a lot of money for advertising, then maybe you can get somebody to talk to you. But otherwise, you'll never talk to them. So that's why these 4 places in the community where you go. Now, these are people, your community. That's why I think communities are important. We have 2 ways of living in this country. Well, there's 2 parts of our lives. One is the capitalist part, which we all get money to do something because other people will pay money to have it done and stuff like that. And then the other is community, where we should help each other as a community. I mean, I don't want, like if my house is on fire, I don't want people, to go out next door and set up a lawn chair and watch the neat fire going on. And that's why you have fire engines and stuff like that I don't have to pay for, thank God, to help things like that. So that's why this community aspect of our life. But it's also there for these other problems besides we think of fire and police. But no, we have a society now where there's a lot of other problems can be solved. So and one way to find it, the one place is 211. 211. You just call 211 or go to 211.org, man. And any kind of problem. You have trouble, you can't pay your rent or something like that, and you need a month or 2 of rent, to get by before you get thrown out on the street or whatever. Well, that's it. You go and try to find rent money, and you're going to get loan sharks on the internet. Payday loan people who will charge gazillion dollars or whatever they get away with, to get you money to get you out of trouble. But no, you go 211, you get everything there is nonprofit organizations and government offices that are paid by you and I already. So that's why that's there. So you have 211. Remember that. You could call them. They have people 24 hours a day. Try to call Google. That will never happen. Okay, the other thing is, particularly these kind of problems when you don't have a lot of money, is community action agencies. Now, this is an agency, and every county has one. You call the operator and ask for Community Action Agency for Montgomery County. Now, they have special people that just work with those kinds of problems, okay? So they're probably in the database, too, of 211. And 211, by the way, is run by United Way, and that's why people give the United Way and whatever. So it's really supplying these kind of services to people, that you don't have to pay for. Okay, Community Action Agency. So everything from you can't get a job, you can't pay your rent, you have a house on fire, any other, you need food, equipment, or whatever, like mites or something she has in her house that she can't get rid of. All those things. So that is free. You go on Google, you'll be overwhelmed. You get billions of websites and what to do. Okay, another thing people forget what we have are libraries. That's right. They're everywhere. Our public libraries. And see, it's a person. You could go the library of your local library. They'll have a website and they'll have Ask a Librarian. You could text with librarians. You could call librarians or whatever. See, and they're people in the community, just like the Community Action Agency. These are people that live there. Just like 211. These are the operators are all local. It's not a national operator. You're talking to local people that you're going to run into in the grocery store and everything like that. People on Google, they don't know you from bananas, right? And they just figured out how to get your money. So, that's why what you get with local people, man, you got somebody to relate to. So you're a librarian. Now they get, the research librarians, that's what their job is, to find you resources in the community that will solve your problem. They do that every day. And that's the problem. We only have that problem once in our lifetime, all right? But they've run into it over and over again by other people that had it in their lifetime. And they found out where the sources was. So they could share with you. And that's what you get when you go to the library. You could walk, you could text, you could call, and it's a wonderful resource. That's all we had before the internet. Those of us who are old enough to remember, that's what's neat. Now, okay, the fourth thing. So you have 211, right? Community action agencies, right? Okay, and then your local library, right? Okay, now your elected official. Man, this is probably the most powerful thing you have in your arsenal. Getting information that you'll never find in Google. Because, see, that's what they're there to do, is help you find money and help for any problem you have. That's right. That's why they get elected all the time. They have staff people, that just find government agencies, find nonprofit organizations, find all these people to get you help. They want to do that more than anybody else in the world, because if they help you, you'll vote for them forever, for the rest of their life. That's why 90% of them get reelected. That's why nothing gets through Congress anymore, because they have safe jobs. Because they're helping people like this, and you don't give a damn what they do as long as they solve your problem personally when it comes up, and they know that. And so that's how they use the hell out of the system that way. But all of those things are free. So that's what I research for people's problems or whatever. If they need money to fix up their house or start a bed, I'll show you 100 free sources of money and help for any of those things. But here, if you want to do it yourself, this is the best place to start. Because they know what's available locally, and that's the thing. It's local. That's why we lose sight of our local community in a way. We think the internet is everything. And remember, particularly Google and these search engines, that's capitalism. That's not community. It may be a community, but it's a community of people trying to get your money. And you'll never find the good people in there. It's too hard. So that's why you have to use the other sources to find this. And that's why it's so easy to run to Google, or Bing and Yahoo and these things to try to solve your problems. But boy, you have a fire drill in your life, and you don't want to start there, because you'll get a false impression of what's going on in the world and where you might get help. And you'll get so frustrated because it's so big and overwhelming, you just throw up your hands and go into debt and pay somebody money. You don't have to do that. So go those 4 places. They're the places to go. 211, call, or on the internet, 211.org. Your Community Action Agency, that's a nonprofit organization too. You can call your local information operator. They'll hook you up with that. Your library. and your elected official. That means congressmen, senators, and your state representatives too. So you have like 4 to 6 people that are good. So if one person's a pain in the butt, and not really helping, you go to the next one. That's what life is about, having options. And that's what I want to show you. Yeah. And if I can help you do that, whatever, it's where I do my research too, is called leskotutor.com. leskotutor.com, and I got prepackaged research help there, and custom research that I do. So if you need help, otherwise, just go and try it. The worst thing you have is you fail and you learn. That's what we all have to do.